If you would like me to continue this game, please let me know. Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator, actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and we're gonna resume a story that I don't know how well it will be conveyed in a visual novel. I don't know the quality of this visual novel, but I'll say if you are familiar with the anime, you may have an idea of what to expect. And if you are not, then I would suggest you should probably watch the anime instead of watching my Let's Play. I feel I would ruin the show for you. So I'm not going to say anything to give away what this visual novel is about. If you have never heard of this, like, you just see the title of this video and you have never heard of an anime by that name, I don't want to spoil the story for you, so I would suggest you should watch the anime. And I feel that you watching me play this would ruin the story for you. Because again, one, I don't know what quality this visual novel will be. And I'm not even sure how many higurashi games are out there. I'm not even sure if this one's really considered, official. I don't know. But I will say this. I think you should watch the anime before watching this. It's a good anime, but I would say you should be at least 18 years old before you watch it. It can have some very mature subjects. That being said, I'm just saying it probably shouldn't be your first anime. Then again, if somehow you happen to come across to my channel, let alone this video, I imagine the algorithm has led you to far and wide choices of anime and mangas. I would assume that if you have come across this video, you are a weeb, and you have probably watched 1,000 anime. I find it almost impossible to believe that anybody would ever come across this video and be listening to me speak right now and have never heard of this story before. But if by chance that's the case, you should watch the anime before watching me. That being said, if you are here, thank you for joining me. I will read this in a very boring manner. And again, I have no idea. I know the story of higurashi. I have seen the anime, and there are some, I suppose the best way to put it, time travel shenanigans. That's probably the best way I can put it without spoiling the story. Because, heck, maybe if there's people that are watching this, you probably have watched the anime before, and you probably just haven't watched it in a while. So, maybe even just coming across my channel in this video might encourage you to want to watch the anime again. I have many, many suggestions for good animes. Some of them would be Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, an Appleseed movie that came out in 1988. But this story can be a little bit violent. There will probably be maybe one or two pictures that may occur in which there is some blood. People may get slightly hurt. And again, while I'm familiar with the anime, I'm not familiar with this game. I'm not sure how long or expansive it is. I'm not even sure if this is official. I didn't bother checking that. I don't know if this is made by the people who made the anime, or if it's just a fan that did this. I don't know. Though I would say there's probably many higurashi games out there. I don't know what anybody watching this would really be looking forward to. I mean, think of it like this. Think of it like a slumber party that you're having with me, Lunar D8. And we got some Pepsi and some pizza and some snacks. And we're gonna watch some anime together. And on some days we'll pick some different genres of anime. I'm not going to say what genre this is, because I feel that would spoil the story. But given the way I've described it, I would like to say it's action to mislead you, so that you would be surprised when things become a little bit more intense than, say, your traditional action movie. But yeah, just saying, on the one hand, I don't want to spoil the story for you. On the other hand, I feel you should be warned that there, again, will be very mature things that occur in this game. And I won't warn you what those things will be, but just be warned that we are not watching My Little Pony on this sleepover. That was yesterday. And tomorrow we can watch some Dragon Ball Z. But today, we're watching a movie from the back end of Blockbuster. A movie that you need your ID and perhaps have the lady watching the register maybe hold your hand as you maybe shock and awe in their respective titles that you see. You think the movies you pick out aren't that bad, that you can handle it. You and your friends can watch it together. None of you will feel scared. After all, why would anyone feel scared playing a game about anime girls? I mean, look how cute and innocent they look. Surely Surely this is just a very innocent, wholesome, relaxing, calm, happy slice of life anime where we maybe learn about the world, go traveling, just a typical anime about the typical average life of a school student. Just relaxing in nature, enjoying the sound of the cicadas. Occasionally you might see Imperfect Cell, or even Perfect Cell, huddled beside a tree, making chirping noises, also with Kermit the Frog standing next to him. I still say, a picture of Vegeta standing in the rain is the same as that picture of Kermit the Frog sitting in a bathtub with water running and crying. Then again, I also say Ted Bear from Cyanide and Happiness is the same personality, and even his voice sounds the exact same as Aizen from the Bleach abridged anime. So the abridging of Bleach, the person who voiced Aizen, it sounds like the same voice as Ted Bear from Cyanide and Happiness. I don't know if either of those voice actors know this. In fact, I'm not even sure if the voice actor who did Aizen knows about Ted Bear from Cyanide and Happiness. I don't even know if the person from Cyanide and Happiness has ever watched a single episode of Bleach, let alone an abridged one. But I would say the voices sound the same. And I would say Aizen and Ted Bear, even the one from normal Bleach, is the same personality. But yeah, if you will, join me for a nice, relaxing slice of life anime. But be warned, there will be a couple slightly not so wholesome story arcs that we may encounter. Maybe this is a choose your own adventure. Maybe it's possible to choose a path in which nothing bad ever happens. And you might be saying, what bad could happen? What bad things could happen? And I'm like, I'm not sure. While I'm familiar with the anime, not familiar with the game. Maybe we could break the heart of one of the girls right here. Or maybe they'll break our heart. Maybe it'll be happily ever after, and I'll pick all the correct choices. And no one will be sad or hurt or anything. After all, maybe there's a bicycling competition, and one of these two sprains their ankle or something. Maybe one of them falls in love, and I decide to move back to the city because I decided to try out that Dairy Queen because I wanted to serve ice cream. After all, we did mention that part 1, talking about that ice cream place we never went to. So maybe that's the story. And maybe that's the warning you have to be warned about. About how amazing ice cream and Red Bull is. Not together, of course. They would actually curdle inside your stomach. But individually, Red Bull and ice cream are delicious. So, let's have a lovely, happy, exciting tour given to me by two lovely ladies. Maybe I will just be walking in between them holding each of their hands. I'll hold this one's hand in my left hand, and this one I'll hold her hand in my right hand. and we'll walk together as friends, and maybe we'll stop by a Wendy's, get some cheeseburgers. Maybe we'll play some Super Nintendo and play some Super Mario World. Have you ever tried to play Super Mario World? If you haven't, I would suggest going back and playing the original Super Mario World. It's also interesting to try to play it doing neat little things, like trying to see if you can beat the game without getting power-ups, or using only spin jumps, or just trying to speedrun it. But I've delayed long enough. But like I said, if you want to see more of this, let me know. Though I'll try to avoid these long, boring intros. I'm sure all of you have already fallen asleep if you come across this. At which point you'll just wake up knowing that I told you to go watch an anime. So, let's have a good day. She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. Kei-chan, after you left, it was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I am a man, after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunch boxes, except this was Rena we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess. When Rena was picking up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Kei-chan is a boy. After all, I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunch boxes. I'm sure there's also soda. Like lots of Pepsi. Maybe she brought a bunch of Red Bull and some ice to keep that Red Bull cold. Because Red Bull is a lot better when it's cold. Thank you, Rena. I appreciate you bringing some Red Bull. Correction. I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out. But all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly chess jockey trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. as sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ha! Good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mayabura-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name. When did I become famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone, since there are so few people here in Hinamazawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that it's Mayabura, that Mayabura fella who just moved here. Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in a bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamazawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. That's not the end. Oh, of course I know them. The first person we met was Old Man Takazao from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles. Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Kaiichi Maibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough, that's enough. But boxers? Enough of that. Apparently, there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamazawa. Zawazawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kaiju-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamazawa? The population in Hinamazawa is shrinking. So the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "you're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke after all. You know, rent's probably pretty cheap here. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again in the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Maibara-kun, how wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. Yep, this is the happiest game ever made. I just get to have a nice, wonderful walk in the rural areas, enjoying the beautiful scenery of the environment. I get to go out and touch grass. And I have lovely women at each side of me who appreciate me and are literally just happy to be spending time with me. In a city that wants me, where rent is actually so cheap they're probably paying me to live there. As opposed to me working myself to death at factories to pay rent. But at the same time, I'm grateful I can at least make money to pay rent. I'm just saying, who wouldn't want to live in Hinamazawa? A nice backwoods town where you have all the comforts of the city, where you can have like parks and hospitals and grocery stores and plenty of trees and forests and bike trails. And there's plenty of beautiful women. And there's plenty of good food. And yes, I'm still fat. I'm 5'11" and 216 pounds. That doesn't seem to change. But what can I say? I like cheeseburgers and pizza and Pepsi and Red Bull and ice cream. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink. So now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can, but it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Wow, yes! Good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? Though Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be the celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming the festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there, various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know. Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Sotoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see, this is her secret plan. To power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style, a handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours. Kaiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Sotoko. Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot? No spot for you, and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry. There's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that, Rika. Here. Chopsticks. Both Sotoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for Mi-chan, and Rika-chan too. Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right. Okay? Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have this hamburger. Herc, using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum on an elbow and the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. The last meatball! Satoko Hajo has been bested. Nam. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers are floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this forever. This intense battle calmed. And finally, everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy, even while eating. They didn't have the time to compliment the flavor. That's just you. But, you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. It was super effective. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Oh? Huh? Rena uttered an unintelligible noise. A ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Ow. Rika-chan, I'm going to take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheeks against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da, these are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them toward Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? Was it that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Renaissance? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Oh, well then, Allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion, amid a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey! So, Rana Oni-chan's lunch? Sotoko thought it was yummy, too. Sotoko looked up at her poutedly while talking cutesy. Wah? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Rena limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena. Aha! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute. Sotoko is so cute. Take you home. Ha ha ha. Swish. Stab. Push. Sotoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me with the defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair to think she'd had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena-san with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Oh, why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Sotoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking. Very naturally and very calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it, was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Uh-huh. Ooh? Rena turned an even deeper shade of red. The words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face. How can you tell? How, that I made it? Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Sotoko also blushed. Of course, I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits, or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Sotoko. It felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some, Keiichi-kun. There's plenty for you. Ruck, instantly dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, stay, Kichikun. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. How about them apples? So hey, how about them apples, Sotoko? Looks like we win. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Sotoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Sotoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan? You're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong? Maybe? Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. Whee! That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose. Cute. Tonight, I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up, whip, and fixed them back up on a plate. Now, they're all just fine, Kay. Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Kay? Rika-chan raised up Sotoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered, "This is our victory." What? A comeback? Hi, Stono. Hi-ho. I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. It was a fun-filled, crazy day, but as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Sotoko and Richan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself, enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Then well, Would you mind taking a little detour? Maybe? 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 A detour. Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena. I quietly nodded. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. Oof-foo, it's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here. Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. Welcome to the episode of Rena and Tetanus. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa. My city raised self was completely pitiful. It's alright, just stay right there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long. Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine, I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally, bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa, you surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, He overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad, my bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamazawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question, unfazed by my suspicious outlook. He introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomotaki, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamazawa from time to time. I didn't ask you who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. Ah ha ha. So what, you're saying I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, the image of a young man in twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for taking your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All the annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomotaki's-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Rena popped her head out from the lower piles of garbage and waved her hands. You have someone with you? What would she be... Oh, you have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomotaki-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Ha 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 ha. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess. I guess. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Tomotaki chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to brush it off for now. I'm surprised she did not, have a response about the person I was talking to. Was that person even real? Did I imagine them? How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes. So listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. KFC! A Colonel Sanders doll. Oh, that thing. Those statues were always out in front of the fried chicken place. That life-size dummy? Oh, yes, Colonel Sanders. How cute. I want to take it home. I couldn't tell you how she decides what's cute or not. But, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's becoming the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. Well, what, not like anybody that's going to take it too? Shouldn't you at least wear gloves when you do that so you don't, cut yourself on something dirty? Because, I mean, there's... in any garbage pile to dump, there's plenty of jagged, sharp bits of metal. And rancid, rotting stuff. Sounds like a good way to have to go to the emergency room. I mean, you wouldn't want to get cut, would you, Rena? I'll help you out to repay you for the delicious picnic prepared today. Thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us. Keiichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home. Ha! Rena staggered along, as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried to ask her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Rena? Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though. Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something? I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that. So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry. Don't really know. Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling that she gave me. Thinking about it, of course it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing instant. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just like Tamataki-san said, then I had a feeling that only the higurashi would know. I'm just imagining Perfect Cell standing here, and then Kermit the Frog is here. Also, there's a big naked girl with tits over here. She's also Futa. Trying to do the Perfect Cell theme. Marlborough Mansion, the damn site murder. I didn't get to read that! Marlborough Manor. This is where we live. A damn site murder. Dismemberment. So, Keiichi-kun? You're not stinking rich? Kei-chan. What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much did you get for a monthly allowance? About $10. That's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out in order how much I get, and then told it's a plebeian amount? Sorry. Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression, and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hanamasawa calling it the Marlborough Manor, and it sort of stands out. Marlborough Manor? Since the house is so big, everybody is gossiping, and wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. I get it. Now, well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that is why they are now broke. Being broke, how very, very unfortunate. Riga-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal, average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand, and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops, and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people and cars could come in to see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and normally is sealed off. The entranceway for the Maburo family actually uses is a very plain and simple one, and the interior is most different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich, but having a home like that? What could be hidden there? Maybe there's something cute hidden. How? Are you gonna steal shit, Rena? They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's all filled with Spartan rooms. Just build a fucking couch out of Little Caesars pizza boxes. If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. Wow, that'd be great. So great. I want to roll around too. Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometimes in the near future. It wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio. The cry of the higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Hey everybody, what's with the ominous music? Has anyone actually watched this anime? From June XX, 1979 edition. And keep in mind this takes place in like 1981. The Shishibone City, Okinawa Police Station, June XX, late at night. Suspects were arrested on the suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender has been added to wanted lists nationwide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we know a group of 5 people? According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the XX at 9 p.m. when they were suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the XX at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute, during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. A Colonel Sanders? Of course, that's right. Up her alley. I understand her wanting to take home Sotoko and Rika-chan. But I can't understand the Colonel Sanders. What's so good about the four-eyed geezer? Probably better to hear from Rena, don't you think? She'll probably just say, because it's just so cute, though. Does Rena often go to the construction site to hunt for treasure? Every now and then she says she's going to have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. But a girl her age rummaging around in garbage as well. If Rena enjoys it, then I think it's fine. What were they doing over there? Damn construction. It had been bugging me since yesterday like an itch I couldn't scratch. That was cancelled a long time ago. Everyone gathered together and fought against it. Hearing an ominous word like fought come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me. That's right. It was unbelievable. They said Hinamizawa would be sunk into the reservoir, and we had no say in the matter, so I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded. I'm sorry. I didn't keep you, did I? Did I? My deepest apologies, Kiichi-san. It took me a while to powder my nose. Sotoko, wait to use the can until you really have to go. It's a lot easier since it shoots right out. Eek! Eek, how dare you speak that way to a maiden of unparalleled beauty, such as myself. Who was she calling a maiden? If Sotoko really a maiden, she wouldn't have acted like that. The usual hijinks ensued. Now then. Gentlemen, in accordance with the rules of our society, I bring a point to discussion. He, Kiichi Amaburo-kun, wishes to be included as a member in our activities. What say you? Rena has no objection. Oh, I wonder if the likes of this peasant is up to the task. Me and Sotoko both approve. The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval. A unanimous decision. Congratulations, Keiichi Maburo-kun. I present you the honor of being allowed to take the entrance exam for our club. Start from the beginning. I didn't say I would join. What club is this? What our club does, you see, in order to cope with our complicated society, we perform various activities under different sets of rules. Sometimes they are in your favor, and sometimes they work against you. I'm pretty weak, so I'd prefer if you didn't single me out. Let's try to get along. You're so naive, Rena. The law of the jungle is the survival of the fittest. This was starting to sound a bit sketchy. So what kind of club was it? To sum it up, it's a club where we play games together. Remember, this whole story and the anime it's based on, completely wholesome. Completely wholesome. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use by playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day. It seemed that, depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place. I'll make this clear right now. We aren't playing house here. You should treat each win or loss as if your life depends on it. Alright? What's wrong with just having fun? Don't make it sound so crazy. The first rule of our society. You know everything's going to be fine because the music's all happy. Nothing bad could ever happen. Aim only for first place. Going at it half-assed just because it's a game is not allowed. Rule number 2 of our society. For that reason, you are obligated to make all possible efforts. The way Sotoko said it, it sounded like she was saying, use any means necessary. Of course. I will do my best, too. I'm pretty weak, but I'm trying my best. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody is aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun. Alright, then I too will go all out. With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club. A word of warning, Kei-chan. A word of warning, Kei-chan. Rena can be pretty nasty. This initiation looks like it's going to be a bit rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school. Well, it's club equipment, so I guess it's fine. Ah. So today we'll play a game that you should be familiar with. How about a standard card game, like Old Bachelor? Alright, let's do this. Alright. Can't really get into it unless there's a penalty. This time the loser will be sentenced to having their face drawn on. What do you think? Whoa, whoa. It won't be oil-based paint, right? Right. Oil-based face painting with oils-based paint. That is perfect. Sotoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. It seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't afford to lose. And then I can't lose either. Then I'll just cut the deck and start dealing. Old Bachelor was pretty much the same as Old Maid. There's only one difference. There's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. I'll take out the card now. Rena took out the card and left it face down on the table. Everybody stared at the card intently. Well, it'll be pretty obvious in the end game. No way to tell at the start. But the rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem as relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't be. This deck is pretty worn out. No way, can everyone tell by the scratches what the card table was? Remember the second rule of our society. KH must try his hardest to win as well. A number of cards are quite unique. KH-kun should be able to remember them pretty quickly. She said that so matter-of-factly. Suits me fine. Don't think I'm a little thing like that can be your crutch. I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. This was a test. Then they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Bring it. I'll take advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. That baseless confidence would soon be crushed. How about I tell you? Your hands starting from the right. 3, 4, 9, Jack, Queen. By the way, the Bachelor is the Jack of Diamonds. Grog. I can tell what they are even if you switch them around. I am out. I thought I was prepared, but for this to be so brutal, just overwhelming. Demons, you're all demons. Rena isn't a demon, are you? Sorry, KH-kun. This is the 3 of Hearts, isn't it? I'm out. Wah. Not even a hint of mercy. Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a death match on a deserted island, these guys would probably take to it like a fish to water. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates. It's a lowest point system. The order itself dictates the points. Whoever has the lowest point total wins. Since Keiichi finished last, he has 5 points. There's always a 5 marked down my scoreboard. I think it's unfair to Keiichi if we don't use a new deck. It's fine. Keiichi is a man after all. He can turn the tables even if the odds are stacked against him, right? It's fitting for a lowly peasant to scamper home and soak their pillow in tears, don't you think? A petite hand laid itself on top of my head, which was trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's. Keep on fighting, yeah. Thanks to Rika-chan's words of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I can muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maebara. Take your time, and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, each card has its own distinct markings. That made them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. But think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory. Oh, great, Keiichi, just good like that. I cover the uniquely marked cards with my hands. In other words, arrange them in a way that they couldn't be seen. The ones with the ripped corners should be the 5. And I'm out. I couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Sojo fanned out her cards for me. You see, I want the 7. Is it this one? I wonder about that. You won't know unless you take it. There was a bit of dismay in her, like she doesn't want it to be taken. That kind of expression, I won't let that momentary lapse slip by me. I know. It's this one. Got it. 7 of spades. A cheer of ooh rang out. But what is this? The 7 should be the hardest one to tell apart. It's memorizing the markings, those slight changes of expression says I was letting the card enough. I can't hide it from me, Kei-chan. This mark means this is 2 of diamonds. What? She was startled by her own misread. Of course everyone else does too. Whoa, it's rare that Mi-chan gets a card wrong. No. Kei-chan, could it be you? Did I damage the card? They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it. Are you saying he disguised it as the 2 of diamonds? What an impressive show of wit. Keiichi landed a clean hit. Clap, clap, clap. That's great, Keiichi-kun. That was an incredible match, you know? Having defeated the Forerunner, Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win, and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's nerves. Well, I'm going to end with the loser, but I'm satisfied with one-upping Mion at the end. Bwahahaha, that should be proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who is atop already an ensured victory. Even if Kei-chan gets first place this round, he'll still end up in last place overall. Don't you hate that? Of course I do. Let's have a duel. 1 chance. If you win, then we'll swap first and last place. How about it? You up for it? She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it. 1 chance, you say. Let me hear the rules. Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, and then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back. The card in my right or the card in my left. Kei-chan can guess which hand the Joker is in, then he wins. When you turned around just now, you didn't pull out the Joker, did you? If you lose, I'll show the card in the other hand. That okay? The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events. Alright, you've got it. Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I needed to inspect them closely. The card on the right hand had no distinguishing marks. I could tell which one it was. Which one, I wonder, Keiichi-kun? Be careful. Yeah, of course, this is my chance for a big comeback. Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I had seen before. Ah, that card is. I didn't let that bit from Sotoko slip by me. Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Sotoko that the card had already been appeared during the game. Since it already appeared before, it meant that it definitely wasn't the Joker. Oh? Kei-chan thinks it's the one on the right. Will you choose that one then? Will you? The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust the theory, then I should be able to declare the card on the right was the Joker. Even without Mion's taunting, the one on the right was most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Totoko's reaction? More carefully. I remember now. That mark on the left card. No doubt about it. The 7 of clubs. It's a 7 of clubs, I see. I've won. The card on the left was the 7 of clubs, so that meant the card on the right was the Joker. And then just before my hand touched the right card, I froze. Hoo-hoo-wee. I would expect no less from you. There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers at my sudden halt, right before I confirmed the right card was the Joker. What could Keiichi possibly be saying? I mean, the left one is. Shh. Oh? What makes you so certain the right card isn't the Joker, Kei-chan? Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else is baffled. I don't know what the card on the right could be, but I know that the one on the left is the 7 of clubs. Then, doesn't that leave the right one as the Joker? One of them has to be the Joker, right? Yeah. One of those is the Joker, right? Keiichi has good intuition. Huh? Rika-chan, what do you mean by that? So basically, the 7 of clubs. I discarded that by matching with Sotoko's 7 of spades earlier. Everyone's attention snapped to the discard pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy pile. So that means Mion pocketed one of the discarded cards, then aligned it over to the true left card, and that means I see, I get it. This left card is being disguised as 7 of clubs, right? It's the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression. I didn't let that slip by. Then what a grand flourish, I declare it loudly. The Joker is the left one. It was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone here. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion. You guys remember Death Note? You know, Light and L? Being the first president of the club, I've been witness to a variety of performances. Kei-chan, yours is the best. The best of the best of the best. That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the cards from both hands. My comeback victory. Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory. Huh? Rika-chan is... Rena and Sotoko gaped at us, as if they had seen a ghost. What is it, Rena? It's not as if I cheated or anything, right? This is fair and square. Rika only pets someone on the head to console them. Huh? What's the meaning of? The moment let her run a small shriek. Keiichi-kun, this is how it was? You know, Kei-chan, I thought you'd read into it far. Eh? Everyone froze. No, it was just me. It was a gamble. If you had jumped to conclusions like a little brat, then I would have lost. It was the answer everyone was certain about. Mion picked the card up from the losing hand. Kei-chan, you know, you should take pride in this loss. She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed victor of the duel. The card was under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable, it was 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply into it. I, Mion Sonozaki, as president of the club, do accept Keiichi Memoron's membership into our club. As I slumped my knees, dazed, everyone let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat. The match is now over. Today's victor is me, Mion Sonozaki, and our exalted loser is Keiichi Mabura. Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that it unexpectedly felt rather refreshing. When Mi-chan pulled the little trick behind her back, I got excited thinking she's going to do it again. When Keiichi stopped the moment before touching the correct card, I thought he fell for it. He fell for quite it handily. Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and were still got excited so earnestly? Everyone got excited to make it more fun. You're all demons, you monsters. Now then, Kei-chan, time for your penalty. Since it's your first day participating, I'll go easy, okay? It would be a problem if you refused to come to school. The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker, and it's a large and oil-based. Hey, okay, here we go. Shut the cap of the marker and brought it slowly to my face while I was immobilized. No! I let out my death throes. As soon as the club activities were finished, Rena flew off. Probably so she could dig out that cute Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence. A mountain of treasure, huh? The guys throwing it away probably never thought in their wildest dreams that Rena would be grateful to them. Mountain of treasure, meaning that dam of construction site from before. Oh right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment. That seemed to have happened there. Over there, you know, the dam construction site? Did something happen there? Long ago. Something sure did, a grand battle. There were sit-ins and demonstrations. It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided to listen just the same. It was our land that was going to be sunk into the dam reservoir. I would have fought as well, probably. The government guys were really adamant about it, acting all big and full of themselves. Since they figured out they couldn't settle with money, they did a bunch of nasty stuff. They were nasty guys. Mion spoke excitedly as if the whole thing was happening right in front of her. I'm amazed you guys won. You were facing the federal government, right? The mayor and prominent figures in the village all signed petitions. They went to Tokyo and struck deals with legislators, and as a result, the development plan was retracted. It was our complete victory. Ah, there wasn't any violence, was there? Like assaults or murders? None. She promptly cut me off, the same as Rena had. Her words signaled the end of discussion. Tomotaki-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly and sighed. Later, see you tomorrow. Kei-chan, you can't wash that off until you get home, got it? I got it, I won't. Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. I wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion. You shall rule this day. Rue this day. My roles are ever reversed. I am going to slop it on. All over your face, so you won't be able to take it off even with a scouring pad. Upon arriving home, I ran straight to my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered into my ear, "Welcome home, Keiichi. Dad he's in a bit of a rut right now, so don't bother him, okay? He can't come up with a new idea." It's because the deadlines are so close together this time. Your dad needs time to recharge, or he doesn't work as well. Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Mabaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter? Wouldn't it be easier to get an idea, taking a walk outside rather than wandering around the house? The theme of the piece this time is in the household, so it seems your dad wants to use the house as a motif. That's quite a bothersome motif. Keiichi, pick up your room. It looks terrible. Sorry, I'll clean it up later. Oh, come on, please don't use my room as a motif. Keiichi, there's still time for dinner, so please go take a walk out back or something. His bad mood is only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk, so I don't aggravate him further. Well, I guess I will then. I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just needed to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go read at the bookstore, but it would take about an hour to get to town. It would be dark by the time I got back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The roads at night here in Hanamazawa creeped me out. If Mio and Sotoko ever found out about that... I smiled wryly. Oh yeah. Rena was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one. She might return the favor next time we have club activities. With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the damn construction site. Tomotaki-san might be there as well. The only person with information about the incident that both Rena and Mion denied knowing anything about. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Himozawa? That was my real intention. I spotted Rena struggling up the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. It didn't look like Rena would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomotaki-san wasn't around, I began climbing up the slope unsteadily. "Hey, Rena? Looks like you're working up a sweat. Whoa, Keiichi-kun. What brings you to a place like this? A place like this, huh? I see. She was aware of it, at least. I received a signal for emergency assistance at the accident site. Where is the injured party? Huh? Accident? Huh? But there was a report Colonel Sanders was buried alive. In the trash pile. Oh. That. You scared me! Don't frighten me like that, Keiichi-kun. I was just kidding. I thought you might be struggling by yourself, so I came to help you out. You came? For me? Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Rena blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. Just kidding. You're embarrassing me now. So, what part was the joke? What part was it? I just ignored her bewilderment. Okay, now move out of the way. So where is Colonel Sanders? Sorry. Can't you see him? In that gap. He's really buried in there. Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Rena, it wasn't like this yesterday. It seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this. You're trying to move this pile all by yourself? With those scrawny arms? There's no way she'd be able to do that with her slender arms. But Colonel Sanders, so cute. There is a chain on the Colonel Sanders at the store. This one, though. I should be able to take this one home. Wouldn't you have to, spray the whole thing with fucking bleach? So it's not, gross. If Rena gave up on this Colonel Sanders, she'll probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Rena's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hands with crime. It kind of reminds me of J-Slat. He's a dude who makes videos, and apparently the people that watch him make videos, there's some sort of ongoing, tradition they have, that all the people that watch him keep stealing street signs and then showing them pictures of the street signs they steal, and he keeps telling them people hey, you guys aren't allowed to do that, at which point they steal more street signs and just put them in their bedrooms. Out of the way, I'll do it. Rena blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If it got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done. Keiichi-kun, I'll help too. Let me help. You just get in the way, so stay back. Urgh. Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside, I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood. Damn it! No matter how much I threw out, there was still more, even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Rena, I felt frantic because of how little I had progressed. If I was going to do this seriously, I'd need an axe or a saw or something. That's enough, Keiichi-kun. You're so sweaty. You don't have to try so hard. I'm just doing it for you, Rena. Don't worry about it. Rena began sputtering and turned beet red. Whoops, I meant to say I was trying my best to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well. I guess I just need a break. This is pretty tough. I sprawled on my back on the grassy slope. I'm so sorry. You're covered in sweat. Rena patted her handkerchief against my forehead. Thank you. It felt pretty nice. Well, wait here a minute, okay? My house is pretty close. I'll bring you some barley tea, okay? Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Rena took off running. The cries of the higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Rena was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I discovered earlier. That was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. There were bound stacks of not-so-reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. If it was just as Tomaki-san said, then undoubtedly there would be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There is no end to these sickening incidents. There is a large part of society drawn in incidents as well, so it had to be recorded somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages, carefully looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator of the victim was, either. I only knew it happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Rena had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at dirty magazine. But it wasn't just that. Both Rena and Mion said they didn't know. But it had happened without a doubt. As long as Tomataki-san wasn't lying. Then if both Rena and Mion... Ah, yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Rena nor Mion wished to talk about. Trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. That made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching. Murder by dismemberment. Here it is. The feature article was in back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the color pages of the front. The pages of the feature article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Rena could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reporters were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site, lynching and murder, dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with an explosive backlash from his daily actions. It's a horrible image to see site foreman as. It happened. It really did happen. It seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was... The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces. The head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes. That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder. Done by a group of people, with hatchets, with pickaxes, with an axe. Eek. Sorry. Did I startle you? Did I startle you? Rena dropped the axe she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice. Keiichi-kun, you see, earlier you said it would help if you had an axe, didn't you? So then I brought an axe for you. From the shed. Rena fluttered her arms in a panic, continued to explain and apologize. It seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely. I'm sorry, I guess my reaction was a bit overboard. No, I'm sorry as well. I'm sorry. Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out, and it wouldn't hurt to do the rest tomorrow. Doesn't look like we can break that last beam without an axe. You brought it after all. I'll have to borrow it tomorrow, right? Okay. Why do you look so glum? Tomorrow we'll be digging out Colonel Sanders, right? You're right. I really want to take Colonel Sanders home soon. We both knew that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Rena brought. I wiped off the sweat that had gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. October 1975. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam will have an incredibly heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The flooded area caused by Hinamizawa Dam would include 5 areas of Hinamizawa: Takatsudo, Kyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yagoshi. The submerged area includes 291 houses, population 1,251, 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 agricultural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumber yard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worships will be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years of our ancestors poured their blood, sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land is just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged banded together and created the onikakushi Defense Alliance. The dam project was halted and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company openly refused. Performing unspeakable heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of the frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that stalling was caused by sublime power through unity. And they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The onikakushi Defense Alliance has been dissolved after it did its part, but the feelings of unity it garnered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to confront whomever decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onikakushi Defense Alliance Committee Chairman Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder, dismemberment. In month of day in prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction work site in Shishibon City, a bone-chilling, gruesome murder or dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago. Archipelago. I think I said it right the first time. Archipelago. Pelago. Archipelago. Archipelago. The police will give no details on the case. It's been forever since I used that word. Exactly what happened to him is Hinamizawa Dam. They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves and returned, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned Investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a bloody body which nobody thought was alive. XX had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first, it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself in to the police. It was the de facto leader of this group who suggested hiding the body. Reluctant at first, they began to think that they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area. But the de facto leader feared that the consciences of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. He devised the heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. had turned a simple manslaughter to a gruesome dismemberment, and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated. But what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. XX had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound was what it meant. Thus an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but XX threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. But plan collapsed in the span of one night. Who had refused to dissect the corpse up to the last moment had broken down in tears at the hospital, where they were being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle, and confessed. The criminals were arrested, one after the other, but the de facto leader are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by XX has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that XX has said he is going to throw the body, right arm, into the marsh. XX's car was discovered abandoned near the marsh, but there were no clues to his whereabouts. Didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, no one would expect him to have a limited area in which he could have escaped to. But within this station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the marsh when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that marsh is believed to be bottomless. It is known as onikakushi, the ogre's abyss. And it's said that the bottom of the marsh is connected to the hellish world of demons. The atrocious demon from hell. That was XX. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the marsh? The Zaijin Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune. Prosperous future. Ladies leaping into your arms. Business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with Panchiko and horse races, but business and even love, guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet, DX, one piece, 27,800 yen. The function of this school as an educational facility is very questionable. Our PE class is exceptionally disorganized. The only things we do together are warm-ups at the start. The teacher isn't even there after that. All we do is play together. No helping it, everybody's a different age or gender. The only rule was that we have to stay on school grounds while exercising. All the little kids were gallivanting about. Well, they certainly are being active. They might be getting plenty of exercise, but the Board of Education probably completely forgot about this school. Sorry to keep you waiting. We're all together now. What shall we do today for PE? Alright, we've all our members gathered now. Now then, class representative, what shall we do for PE today? What shall we do? Mian harumphed and crossed her arms haughtily, surveying the area. Explosive power and endurance. There are no friends in the world of sports. Everyone is a rival. And the only thing you can trust is your own body. The only thing you can trust in is your own body. What the heck do you mean by that? You really read too much manga. I quipped without missing a beat. And so we'll be taking a lesson from history. The tried and true king of all outdoor melee events. Let's play tag. That was quite the adorable choice to make after playing it up so much. Just what I was hoping for. That dunderhead Kei-chin should be the first one to be it. I won't be beaten. I'll try my best too. You can't beat me. Why are you guys so also into it? The third rule of our society: you must partake in the game, enjoying without question. Then this counts as a club activity. Everyone smirked at each other. They all seemed pretty confident. I'm a man. Physically, I should be able to keep up with any girls my own age. Regardless, Mion and Sotoko looked like they were aiming for victory, and Rena was looking at me as if pitying my disadvantage. Fine, tag. I'm in. My yell echoed across the school grounds. Those were the rules. Anyone who was able to evade being tagged before the bell was a winner. But we didn't switch who was it. The ones who were tagged by it also became it. So the number of people who were it could increase exponentially. The endgame could become a hellish siege. They call the version we're playing here zombie tag, you see. Yeah. It's a pretty popular game, actually. I see. Anyone infected by a zombie turns into a zombie. Why do you make it sound so scary, I wonder? I wonder. As soon as I catch Rena, I'm going to tear out her entrails while she's still alive. Gross, Kage-kun, that's gross. Rika-chan placed her hand on Rena's head as she panicked. Don't worry, before Kage combos you down, I'll eat you up gently. Rika, that isn't comforting at all. Both Mion and I nodded deeply. So the first it, how do you decide who's the zombie? With rock, paper, scissors? Well, it is class time after all. Let's decide by answering questions. I'll ask the questions, and the one who isn't able to answer is the zombie. I have no idea which grade level they're coming from. What does the Japanese word roku mean? Huh? I was bewildered by the sudden question. Mion repeated it. So you need to answer. What's roku in English? It's 6. How about Kutsuchijita? Socks. What about the third last letter in the alphabet? It's X. What does Saibetsu mean? That's it. Of course I know what it is. Say, Sotoko cut herself off before finishing answer. I see, it's quite a lewd question. You're an adult, aren't you? Of course you know what it is, right? I certainly do. Of course I know. Then go ahead and say it. That, you know, that. What does that mean exactly? Ha, Sotoko looks like she's in trouble. How cute. Don't take her home. It's a crime. If I didn't nip it in the bud, she's really might have tried to take her home. Mion's pursuit was relentless, making Sotoko stammer. Now then, go ahead and say it, nice and loudly. What does that mean? I do know. I do know. That means a person, thing, idea, action, or event which has been previously indicated in context. Huh? All of us were a bit surprised by Rika-chan's unexpected answer. I see, well, it certainly is what that means. That could have been awkward. I wonder what I would have done in Sokoto's position. Probably just get ticked off and start blurt out, you know, at the top of my lungs. I wouldn't want you as an enemy, Mion Sonozaki. Thank goodness you were born a girl. If you were a boy, you probably would be a perverted asshole. It appears I have no choice. Unfortunately, Sotoko Hicho shall assume the role of zombie. I shall eat everyone. Seems like she's raring to go. All he must do is count to 100, correct? Some jerks skip numbers on counting to 100. So you can start chasing after you solve the problem. Okay, Chicken, give her a simple one, okay? 1/5 of a cake, 1/6 of a cake, and 1/7 of a cake are on a plate. Oh no. There are no common denominators? Sotoko grabbed a stick and began to panic, drawing a cake in fractions on the ground. So, Sotoko, who can eat one cake in 60 seconds? Eats all of them. How many cakes are left on one plate? Just as I finished giving the word problem, Mion shouted. Ready? Go! A Mion signaled everyone but Sotoko scattered. Heh, Kiichi-kun. That wasn't a problem at all, was it? Sotoko had lost the moment she started working out. She's eating it all, so of course there's nothing left on the plate. Everyone dashed off in the direction they thought was best. Knowing the lay of the land, they probably headed right to the best spots. It was obvious I was at a disadvantage. At a time like this, I would have been more effective to go along with those trained in survival skills, like Mion, for example. The fact that I didn't realize at the start of the game probably hurt my chances. Glancing back over the school grounds, I saw Sotoko just rising up to start. She was really, really mad. Mwah, she got tripped up. Such a dumb question. I stood at one of the corners of the school. I had clear sight lines in two directions, and would probably have a good response time if any zombies started closing in. For the time being, I caught my breath and focused on what I was trained to think during club activities yesterday. Now think calmly, Keiichi Maebara. If I was it, what would I do? Increase my numbers would be the shortcut to victory. Then going after the weakest player first is the obvious plan of attack, meaning me. Now then, where could Keiichi-san possibly be? I shan't let you escape. But of course, what would be the best method to track me down? Footprints or smell, or maybe some type of trail? If I could craftily hide my tracks, then there would be no trail for Sotoko to follow. But I was no detective. Would I even be able to do that kind of thing in an amateur game like this? Tomota Okamura. Have you seen Kaichi-san recently? What the heck? Do zombies hunt their prey by asking nicely where they went? Tomota Okamura pointed to the location where I was hiding. After confirming she was heading in this direction, I abandoned my position. It wasn't easy to hide myself, all this little kid running around as they please. It was becoming more obvious that I was at a disadvantage for not being familiar with these little surroundings. If that's how it was going to be, then to confront this intelligence-gathering zombie, I just countered in a similar vein. I approached some girls playing with a ball. I'm sorry, but could you relay this message? Sotoko has told her parents at the gate, please? Message, haha. Okay. I stopped the girls, they turned and ran off. Wait, don't go yet. Also, take this to Mion Sonozaki. Tell her the teacher is calling her at the gate. Well, I am quite the schemer, if I do say so myself. If things went well, Sotoko and Mion would run into each other at the gate. It would put me at a disadvantage if more people were it, but this was Mion we were talking about. She'd figure out a way to escape. But that was just fine, as long as it bought me more time. Wah! Dance for me, Mion and Sotoko! In the palm of my hand! Having my fill of playing the conman, I looked for a place to hide. If you think about it logically, I'd only bought myself a scant amount of time, and it might even come back to bite me. Once it became apparent I had started spreading false information through messengers, I could end up being the recipient of those messages. Sotoko would probably ask the messenger to help her look for me. That would mean there would be more zombies than participants in the game. The virus that brought about my mischief could also cause an epidemic. All my classmates would transform into zombies and would only be searching for me. This tactic might backfire horribly. While trembling at the thought of my impending dawn of the dead, I began searching for a safe house. I found a shed by the incinerator behind the school. After climbing up the roof, I held my breath. It wasn't a bad place to hold out. Not only did I have a good line of sight, but if necessary I could jump off the different to escape. It was getting rowdy down there. The lower grades were running around below the shed. Maebara-san isn't around. Is he over there? Nope. Where's Keiichi-san, I wonder? His dad is at the front gate. That was definitely a lie. The word gate was the same one I'd used to give a hint of revenge. So Mion was behind this. I was still keeping one step ahead of the game. I felt bad for my underclassmen, but they'd have to search until the school bell. Hey, do you know where Keiichi-san is at? His mom suddenly got really sick. A message from Iver-san? They said his house caught fire and he needs to come to the gate. A jumbo jet fell on the Mabura residence. The police have come to question him. Anything goes now. They say he enjoys peeping into bathrooms. What? Is it true that he goes around every night stealing panties? Who are they talking about? I heard he wears panties on his head and smells them and stuff. No way I would do that. I heard the class representative Mion was a victim too. What? Grrr, this was your doing, Mion. Calm down, Keiichi Mabura. This is Mion's battle tactic. Flesh me out. Just hold on. If my underclassmen thought about it logically, they would know it's all nonsense. But small kids don't think about things logically. To them, all those things are true. So I'll chuckle together while looking for me. Heh. Bwahaha. I win, Mion. It's my victory. Bwahaha. Wiping unrelenting tears away, I felt intoxicated by my own victory. Did you hear? Heard that the new transfer student Mabura-san is a really perverted person. Kaha. The cost of beating Mion had too high a price. Oh. Someone passed below. That's Rena and Rika-chan. Rika-chan, you're still okay? I'm getting by somehow. It seems Mi-chan is it as well. Mion? It couldn't be. She'd become it because of my little strategy? This confirmed that Mion was behind the relentless message war. Then this wasn't good. We finally got away from Mi-chan, but Sotoko-chan, Sotoko searched around the pipes, so we should be safe for a while. Upon hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. While Rena was slumped on the ground, breathing heavily, Rika-chan had started creeping up to her. Rika-chan doesn't normally make a noise when she walks, but it's strange. It couldn't be. Whoa! Rika-chan? What is it? What is it? What? Don't worry. I had never seen Rika-chan smile so creepily before. Why are you coming closer? Why? Rika-chan isn't a zombie, is she? Don't be scared. I'll be sure to eat you gently. No way! Rika-chan, no, eek! Reina was pressed against the wall and Rika-chan lurched forward, both arms out, just like a zombie. Reina quaked with her back pushed up against the wall. It was quite a surreal scene of horror, like one of those zombie breakout videos you'd see. At that moment, Rena's eyes met mine. Keiichi-kun, save me! Zombie Rika-chan turned 180 degrees, exorcist style, and glared at me. Found him! I see Kei-chan! Mion popped out from behind the cinder block wall around the garbage dump, also seeing where I was. My position was only advantageous when there was one zombie. Being surrounded was not as good. You said you located Keiichi-san? I could tell that Sotoko was rushing my way. It seemed that Rika-chan had let Reina escape. It was now she was bearing her fangs in my direction. Oh. Raw. Come on down, Kei-chan. The three zombies circled the shed, moaning curses. You guys are scary. Too scary. I wonder how Kei-chan guts taste. Kei-chan, I want you to become one of us. Please save me. I saw Rena apologize to me from across the schoolyard. An apology. Sorry. Leaving me for dead? Rena. I leapt off the roof out of fear, slipping as I landed. Sotoko and Rika jumped on top of me, and after straddling me, they tickled me all over my body. Gwahahaha! Stop. Gwa! Suspense Rena is still left. There isn't much time till the bell. Damn you, Rena. How dare you leave me for dead? The feelings of a zombie. I understood how vengeful ghosts with lingering regrets felt. It's sad, so sad. But Keiichi is one of us now. It felt like I had been bitten by a vampire and was now one of their thralls. It was a strange feeling being welcomed over to the side that had pursued me. Zombie tag is quite profound. This is no time to postulate. We must capture Rena. The principal is walking down the hall. The bell will ring soon. To devour Rena, I, who had turned into a demon of vengeance, needed to use any means necessary, except I wasn't just a zombie. I was a master of the night, a vampire. Using the same trick that had tightened the noose around my own neck, I used my classmates to further my evil designs. I gathered up the lower grades from all around the school grounds. Everyone listen. Rena's in big trouble. All of you, please look for Rena. It's a bigger problem than a jumbo jet crushed in your family house. Oh yeah. It had turned into that, hadn't it? Mion whistled nonchalantly, trying to avoid the blame. Yeah, it's not even the same league as the Jumbo Jets. What fell in Rena's house was a space colony. A space colony? Yeah, it's a really big disaster. Everything in a 100-kilometer radius was obliterated. But that's only the prelude to this tragic tale. This is beginning, the start of war for independence by the propaganda palette of Zeon. You guys remember Gundam? There's like 20 different Gundam animes. The lower grades dumbfounded, their eyes like saucers at the Grand Tour of events. But what will happen? Will the Terran Federation lose? If things go on like this, they will. Only one person can defeat the Red Comet. That person is Rena Ryugu. She must pilot a Gundam. Like, the lower grade students all gulped. I mean, the original Mobile Suit Gundams were really popular back in the 80s. The fight for Earth was lost without Rena. Now scatter, comrades. We must find Comrade Rena. My comrades in the lower grades let out an enthusiastic cheer and dashed off in the various directions around the school grounds. There was still one person who hadn't gone. But I thought even the Terran Federation's impulse-wave diffusal cannon didn't work on the Comet Empire. You're close. That's the white variety of those comets. The reason it didn't work was because they didn't know the weak point. Of course, Rena knows the weak point all too well. Ryugo-san is amazing. Satisfied that, he rushed off to look for Rena. It does seem like there was more promising up-and-comers amongst youngsters. Little K-Chan's abilities. This old man knows them better now. It didn't really feel like she was complimenting me, but whatever. Really, though, how exceptional K-Chan really is. This looks quite promising. If we have this many, we can win. With this many, we will win. I was thinking that Cage would have been a better nominee for the initial zombie. Riga-chan's words stung a bit, but I let it slide for now. Not even Rena would be able to escape the entire class. As a result of everyone's thorough search, Rena was finally cornered in the back of the sports equipment shed. You're all scary. Keiichi-kun too. So scary. It probably was scary being chased around by the entire student body. All lower grades closed on Rena, saying she was the only one who could save the world. What are you all saying? I can't control a mech. Rena, how could you leave me for dead? Are you ready to pay for it? I am sorry about that, kid, but I didn't have a choice. Do not resist. Let yourself be devoured. Let's all be together. Now, Rena, say your prayers. Mwahaha. Rena stumbled onto a mat, trembling with tears in her eyes. I closed in. Associating this situation with a similar, particularly immoral one, made my pulse quicken a little bit. Sotoko and Rika-chan were both wiggling their little fingers. They probably wanted to tickle Rena. Rena, wanting no part of what she knew was about to happen, went stiff with fear. Keiichi-kun, you wouldn't do mean things like that like everyone else, would you? Would you? I wonder. Ooh, ha. Now then, are you ready? Are you ready? That's kind of funny. The Say Your Prayers, I was trying to imitate Fiora Flatsky from the end of Brave Fencer Musashi. And then with the Are You Ready? I'm trying to imitate Mega Man Juno from the end of Mega Man Legends. The face she made as she resigned herself to her fate made my heart skip a beat. I believe that Keiichi-kun won't do horrible things to me. Body won't move. That had to be some kind of anti-zombie mantra. The second my sense of reason chimed in, the beast inside me died instantly. There was the bell. Game over. Yay! I did it! I did it! I survived! Yay! Yay! Rena pranced around merrily, as if a curse had been broken. Ha! So daylight broke in the nick of time, and the evil zombie army disintegrated into dust. And so the heroine survived. Well, that's how it goes in the movies anyway. What are you postulating about? This is all because Kage-san was dawdling about. Punishment is required. I was subdued by Satoko, and Rika-chan once again sentenced to death by 100 tickles. Eek! Forgive me! Eek! Then the award for surviving goes to Rena Ryugu and Mino Sanazaki. Yay! Huh? Mi-chan wasn't a zombie? Only pretended to be one. They say you need to deceive your allies before you can deceive the enemy, you know? Mia and you little... But here's the thing. Sotoko would have known. Yeah. Hurry up and change, alright? Don't be late for the next class. Let go of me, Sotoko, Rika-chan. Gwaha. Having had my fill of being terrified at my very core by club activities, I solemnly swore I would have me on crying for mercy next time. After arriving home, I quickly made preparations to head out once again. I had agreed with meet Rena to take Colonel Sanders out of the mountain, the treasure before. Mom, do we have work gloves? I need towels, too. Aren't they in the shed out back? The towels are by the sink. Alright, now I was all ready. Looking at me, my mom stared quizzically. What's going on, Keiichi-kun? Where are you headed with that get-up? If they come to the dump again illegally, he'll be buried completely and it'll be impossible to dig him out. And if that happens, Rena will be undoubtedly go after the Colonel Sanders in front of the fried chicken place in town. A bit of excavating, so my classmate doesn't become incredible. Well, don't be out too late. Mom returned to the kitchen with a puzzled expression still on her face. Cutting through the woods as a shortcut to the dam site, I ran into someone. It was Tomotaki-san, probably taking pictures of the wild birds again. That precious camera of his. It couldn't be that all he took pictures of was handsome young man in Twilight. Hey, long time no see. Keiichi-kun, right? My due regards. I expelled the rude imagery from my head and greeted him without inciting anything. By the way, was that girl an acquaintance of yours? He was probably talking about Rena. Guessing by the way Tomotaki was shaken up. What was that about? She was walking around with an axe, and she was laughing with a huge smile across her face. That was Rena without a doubt. It was probably because she could take home today. She couldn't hide her excitement. I hid myself because I thought it might be dangerous. Should I call the cops to be safe? Well, it certainly would be quite a spectacle for a girl her age to be rolling around with an axe. Tomotaki-san's reaction was quite the epitome of logical. It's fine. Just leave her be. She's just wandering around looking for more victims. Tomotaki-san was alarmed by my crass response. Well, it's probably hard for normal people to understand Rena. I'll just toss a bunch of BS out there. If you were to be killed out here, she'd probably be the one to do it. Try not to snoop too much around here. With a condescending snark, I started off in the direction of the dam where Rena was waiting. Before I got too far, Tomotaki-san abruptly called out to me. Keiichi-kun, is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? I didn't mean that seriously. I did try to make it obvious, but... I'll try my best to be careful. Leaving only those words behind, Tomotaki-san turned around and left. I didn't really mean to call him an outsider. I wasn't really implying anything when I said that. I was only meant to be a joke, but it felt like I had said something bad. Keiichi-kun, I was waiting for you. Let's try our best today. I understood what Tomotaki-san was trying to say. Somebody gallivanting about while waving an axe certainly would seem dangerous. You should cover the axe with something when you have it in public. It is not good to carry around it open like that. Seems like that I lost it, so there isn't one. Thinking about it, there really was no need to try to keep up appearances. Everyone in Hinamizawa probably already knew about Rena's eccentricities. She's probably the only person who could carry an axe around Hinamizawa and not be considered suspicious. Ah, well, let's finish this today. If we bust through that last beam, we should be able to pull him out. I got everything I need. Leave it to me. Okay. I took the axe from Rena and made my way up the unstable slope. Just wait, Colonel Sanders. Cage-Dragoon will save you. Alright, get back. I'll finish this in one go. You guys remember G Gundam? A solid thwack ran throughout Hinamizawa as if the job was being done by a lumberjack. How is it? Think you can do it? If it looks too hard, you don't have to strain yourself. If I can break through this, then we'll be good. I have plenty of power today. I can do it. But this adversary was far more formidable than I expected. First of all, I'd never used an axe before. During a school camping trip, I had wanted to split the wood, but I lost rock, paper, scissors and wasn't able to do it. Because the spot where I was standing was so unstable, I soon became tired and decided to take a break. Ren had already spread out a tarp and laid down some tea and sweets. I'm fine. I'm almost there. I'll make sure Rena can give Colonel Sanders a good night kiss tonight. Yeah, thanks. Giving Colonel Sanders a goodnight kiss. Come to think of it, Rena, you're a transfer student too, right? Where did you live before? I asked her nonchalantly while drinking tea. I thought she lived here all her life. In Kanto. It wasn't as rural as it was out here, but it was still out in the countryside. Why did you move here? To Hinamizawa, I mean. You know, this is pretty far out in the boonies. Why did you move here? Does it have to do with your dad's work? Dad said he wanted to move out to his studio. He'd been staying here for a while, somewhere deep in the mountains, like this would be perfect. Studio, is your father an artist or something? He paints scenery. Seems that twice a year he opens a gallery for stuff he does. When he started, his works displayed in Industry Plaza in Tokyo. But now they're exhibited in the Makihara Mess. He's determined to have them displayed in the Waterfront International Exhibition Hall. That's amazing. Let me see them next time. I was too embarrassed to tell her that I didn't really know what kind of pictures my father painted. Well, eventually I would. I picked myself up while giving some vague answers. But you transferred in the middle of the semester, didn't you? Wasn't that a hassle? Not really. I was getting bored of the city anyway. I was trying to get answers from Rena, but I ended up being the one giving all the answers. With a bit of a wry smile on my face, I grabbed the handle of the axe and headed back to the work site. The air grew colder as the sun slowly set. The higurashi began their song as if to tell me to stop and head home for the day. Just a bit more today, I would end it. When I first started, I chatted with Rena as I worked, but now I didn't have that luxury. Hoo-yah! You little... Damn it! I had swung the axe countless times today just like this. Contact. Shards of wood splinter. The assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes. I recalled that passage from the tabloids. One hit with something like this would smash someone's head in. Axes and pickaxes are not meant to be swung at people. Ever. Unless you're bored. One last swing, the beam cracked apart. The weight I put behind the axe was not only split through the beam, but smashed the statue's shoulder as well. The arm came off with a sickening sound and clattered down noisily, stopping at my feet. What's the matter? Are you hurt? Sorry, the figure's arm. I broke it off. Oh, that's all? I thought Keiichi-kun hurt himself. I probably had a really guilty look on my face. Rena said that without a hint of dismay as she smiled. We just need to tape it back on and put a coat over him. I'm glad you care more about me than, an inanimate object. How would everyone out there feel if there was a person who cared more about an inanimate object than the person? That would probably hurt your feelings just a little bit. I see, let's pull him out then. Can you get that side? Okay. Seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms, you see. I laughed dryly at how pathetic I was for considering the arm flopping down and rolling my feet to be such a bad omen. Both Ren and Mia knew how sickening that incident was, so they pretended they didn't know. I had looked it up all by myself, and shamefully enough, I was scared. You're pathetic, Keiichi, Mabara. All right, Rena. Let's do this in one go. Ready, and... Whoa! We did it, Keiichi-kun. Yay! The right time to give 3 cheers. The moment of 2 days' work bearing fruit. He was brought to Hinmazawa covered in filth to meet his end. Instead, we were able to welcome him back again. You're pretty lucky, Colonel Sanders. Your new master is a pretty decent person. Wow, Colonel Sanders, he really is cute. It didn't matter that he was dirty. Rena nuzzled him cheerfully with her cheek. I was dead tired, but seeing Rena's happy face made it all worth it. I'll hope you carry it back. It'd be bad if it gets dark. Yeah, right. I really want to thank you, Keiichi-kun. I won't forget this. Think real hard about what you'll do to repay me, okay? Whoa, I wonder what kind of repayment. I wonder. For now, I just hold back my evil cackle. We were ready to take it to her house, but we couldn't go like this. We rolled the statue up in a tarp and lifted him. And so Jack and Jill went down the hill, carrying a human-sized bag and an unsheathed axe. I prayed that we wouldn't run into Tomataki-san. If he saw us here and took a picture, we'll need to get rid of him. LOL. Is that meant to be a warning for an outsider like me? Something struck me as odd about the words Tomataki-san, unable to grasp my sense of humor left behind. What kind of name is Rena? Rena's not here. Do you know where she is, Keiichi? She was just there, actually. Hey, Mion, where did Rena go? Rena? Didn't she go to the bathroom? She did say that she's been having bowel troubles lately. I hadn't heard anything about that. Satoko, do you know where Rena went? Rena, you say? I just passed her in the hallway. Rena has class duties today, so she's off to water the flower bed. Ah, it was Rena's turn for class duty. That's a very much appreciated. Rena. Upon hearing it repeated, a thought came to mind. It's rude to say this about somebody's name, but it was a weird name. It was like a foreigner's name. What kind of name is Rena, I wonder? What kind of kanji does her name use? Rena is her nickname. She has a proper name as well. What, really? I was sure that Rena Ryugu was her full name. Well, I can understand you making that mistake since we only call her Rena. She even signs her name as Rena. It's like it's her real name in school. I wonder what her real name is. Let's ask her when she comes back. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at each other. You don't need to ask her. We'll tell you what it is. It's the Ray. from Ore, and then Na from Nara. Her real name is Reina Ryuga. Reina, is that? So it's read out as Rena instead of Reina. That's a pretty interesting reading. No, that's not it. Reina is the correct way. Rena had told us that she wanted us to call her Rena, so we call her Rena. Kei-chan, Rena is Rena, you know? Only strangers call her Reina. You get where this is going? I understood what Mion was saying. It didn't matter what her real name was, only that the names we used between us. Rena Ryuga is Rena. So I was thinking, if I had a nickname, would you call me by that? If it's good. So what do you want to be called? Con Man. Rena then came back to the classroom. One of the juniors near the door told Rena people were looking for her. What's this now? Who is looking for me, I wonder? I wonder. Seeing that, both Mion and I sneered. Bailiff Ryugo! Doth show herself! Conmen, you're quite sinister. Whoa! What is this? What is this? Keichigurumi-chan? Are evil bailiffs? A conman? Damn you, Renanosuke Ryoga! Today doth be when thou meetest thy maker. How about thee? Wa? Suke-san? Kaku-san? Show them what for. Aye, sir. I expect my fee to be paid to my Swiss bank account. Since it's come to this, we have no choice. We'll just have to have a grand battle with 5 people. Rena's fierce punches exploded in the proper timing to take out the seal. The evil that was Mion, myself vanquished in the end. I do hope Rena does go on a journey to make the world a better place. How about heading to Nagachao? My destination is decided by where the cute stuff gathers. The toll of the bell signaled the break time was over. Come on, Keichigurumi-chan. The teacher is coming. Took Rena's hand and stood up. It was just as the teacher entered the classroom. Just one more hour. Man, oh man. Gotta buckle down for one more. How was it, Kei-chan? So you went to Renaissance House? Wasn't it amazing? It's nothing like that, right? Right? Unlike my house, the Ryuga residence wasn't newly constructed. It had been renovated from a pre-existing building. Well, the house itself was fine. The problem was the yard. There. It was crammed with rows upon rows of oddities. They were all the same as Colonel Sanders' stuff you'd see while walking around in town. The cake shop's mascot, Little Licky. The Total Laman in front of the pharmacy. She had the amazing flying elephant on the top of the department store. I'll agree with you that those are cute. But why the mailbox? Won't you get in trouble for that one? But how? He's so cute. She must have thought about it because her face filled with delight. So it's the bigger the better, just as long as it's big. And her room displays the smaller ones. I had a chance to see them before. And cute kids like Rika-chan are locked away in the basement? Yep, I'll keep anything. How cute. So she takes anything she likes back to her nest. No ill will intended. Hey, Rena? You know about the Statue of Liberty in New York, right? Is that cute? Yeah, cute. I want it. The U.S. should probably come up with some countermeasures ASAP. If not, the Statue of Liberty will really take a trip to Hinamizawa, if not so distant future. My apologies for keeping you waiting. Rika-chan had returned. No fun being called to the staff room. Did you do something? How rude. Rika-chan isn't a hoodlum like Keiichi-san. Ah, nothing like that, Keiichi-kun. Rika-chan is a member of the festival committee. Festival? The school cultural festival or something? Keiichi-chan, I already told you. It's the village festival. The higurashi. Well, come to think of it, she did say there would be a festival at the shrine during the... So what's this onikakushi? It's like a floating lantern festival? I guess that last part you said drifted is similar. Except we use cotton things like old worn-out futons and padded cloaks. It's a festival expressing thanks to their years of service. The people living in Hinamizawa dump their futons and padded cloaks in the stream. It sounds like it'd be a lot of trouble if backed up the current. Maybe they should just drop some fish in and have a fish wrangling competition. Skewer them and sprinkle a little salt. Oh man, I can smell it already. That's just summer camp. I never anticipated how destitute Keiichi-san's imaginative capabilities could actually be. What? How could you tell I was thinking something silly? Written all over your face. What sort of face could express what I imagined just now? Rena demonstrated for me. I see. No argument there. Ha 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 ha! It's nothing like that. You see, but you should still look forward to it. Let's all go together. I'll come get you that day. I don't really feel like going to festivals unless someone asks me to. I wouldn't get bored if these guys were going. You won't get bored. We're doing it again this year. Mion's proclamation came as she looked at each member in turn. What was this about? The way Mion looked, it was probably our club's summer tradition. The 4-demon firefight. That sounds awful. What kind of name is that? I think it's a cute name, though. I tried to object sharply, but since Rena looked happy about it, I decided it was pointless to fight it. Since Keiichi is this year, it becomes 5 demons.